Welcome back to another episode of Music Business Advice, where we watch and break down some of the videos discussed in our artist development course. Today, we have a video all about how to juggle both the creative and business mindset when it comes to the music industry. So, let's get into it.
There is an epic battle that artists have had to fight between two sides since the beginning of time. And Scotty ATL, an ATL artist, if y'all haven't figured that out, he has broken this down beautifully, talking about this struggle and how he had to go through his journey of evolving to find success in the music industry. Check this clip out here. I think y'all will get a lot of value from it.
In the music industry, we focus on being creative every day. So that means you go to the studio every day. You think that that's gonna make you rich, but you just focusing on being creative. So you grow in that area.
Yes.
You become more and more creative,
Yep.
right? When the business not really about what you made, it's about what you did after you made it.
That right there is the bar. That's the bar right there. And I hadn't even finished this clip, so that's the first time I'm hearing that. We're gonna let him finish. But I love the fact that he points out that you are growing creatively.
Mm-hmm.
That work is like resulting in something. You just aren't getting a sense of the benefit, or you're probably being frustrated because you're not seeing the outside benefit because you aren't doing the business side and figuring out how to think about make money every day, which is what the business people are thinking about.
Yep.
And so when I started putting that together and started thinking, okay, how can I make money every day? I don't care if it's $25.
$25 a day, $500 a month, $1,000 a month. These are realistic goals that we can set for ourselves. I don't know about you, but I don't plan on sleeping in my car in the future. I don't plan on skipping a meal in the future. I don't plan on skipping showers in the future. Now, that starving artist mentality, that's only one half of the journey. Showing you how strong you are, how bad you want it, how durable are you. Do you deserve it? Now, I get the people that say if I perfect my craft, the money will come. But what's the point in perfecting your craft? What's the point in being in that mentality when you don't know where the money is coming from? Maybe 70% creative, 30% business mind. But you have to have some kind of knowledge. Stop playing the role of artist or musician and actually become one. That requires you to learn at least a little bit of the business side. At least learn how your money is coming in. Learn the different sources of where your money is coming from. When we're so focused on the creative aspect of things, all we're doing is becoming the poorest, best creative ever. That doesn't even make any sense.
As crazy as it sounds, right? You like,
Yeah.
damn, if me and Sean focus our energy every day on just making sure the campaigns go, then the agency would die. You know what I'm saying? Because it's
Yeah.
like, if we don't do it, who gonna do it? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a hard realization to come through to realize that maxing out your skill set on your creative talent isn't going to fix the business around you. It's a very hard reality to come to terms with. You know what I'm saying?
That's
But
right.
the faster you come to terms with it, the faster you can start focusing on your weaknesses. And like you said, it snowballs. So that one day turns into 30, that 30 turns into 3 months, that 3 months turns into 3 years. The next thing you know, you're in a position to where you can do both at a really high level. And I think that's where a lot of artists really fuck up. We'll look at bigger artists and then be like, okay, say Drake, right? Like Drake can be in the studio for 10 hours a day working on his craft and then spend the other 8 hours taking business meetings, talking to different people. Like, damn, I can do that. But what you don't realize is that he had to work himself into a position to be able to do that. One, just to be able to physically handle it, but then two, to have the infrastructure around him that supports all the other things that he's not doing while he is focusing on those things, right? Wherever you put your energy, wherever you water, there's another plant that's gonna die because you're not putting water over there. You know what I'm saying? It's just the reality of
You only got so much water.
so much water. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to think about your business almost like a garden. Like if I focus just on the tomatoes, the onion's gonna die. If I focus just on the onions, the cucumber's gonna die. How can I get to each of these things individually? Or maybe you take 1 year to get really good at growing tomatoes and onions, and then next year you come focus on cucumbers. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not a right or wrong to it, but I feel like, we see so many low-level artist careers die before they can even take off because in their minds, if I just get this music shit right, it's gonna fix everything. It's gonna shine through. And like I know a lot of talent.
It's not. Think of your artistry, think of your business as a garden. Everything needs attention or something is going to die. And that results in an unsuccessful garden. You might have one plant over here doing really well, then you have another plant over here that's dying. It's dying because it's not getting equal attention. It's not getting the love that it needs. Water this plant, water this plant, water this plant. You only have so much water. It can't go all into one plant because you put it all in one plant, even that plant starts to die. And I think that's the resentment we would start to grow for our music if we were only focusing on that. Water what needs to be watered. Learn what needs to be watered. And that's the whole point of our artist development courses is to make sure we know the plants that need to be watered. And luckily, we're not doing this by ourselves. We have a team. You have a team. Let Double M be your team. Having certain people take care of certain plants. Maybe having somebody assigned to this plant one day, somebody assigned to this plant the next. You have a team. Reach out if you need help, but don't be the artist that's only focusing on the creative part unless money isn't the goal or a sustainable living isn't the goal. If that's your goal, do as you please. But I'm in this to make a living. I'm in this to support myself, support my family, and be able to give back as much as I make. That's my goal. So I have to tend to my garden. I have to make sure everything is getting the right amount of water when it's supposed to get that amount of water. The dream isn't to be a starving artist. The dream is to go through those trials and tribulations to eventually see the other side, see the fruits of your labor. Our business is a garden. Tend to every plant or regret it. And what happens if you don't have a successful garden? You don't eat.
Unsuccessful artists, you know what I'm saying? Because they
That's a
don't
fact.
focus on the other stuff.
I remember when I had that talk with Ryan Leslie, he was like, I got good at all these instruments and so good at music because I thought if I just became the dopest dude in the world, people were going to find me and then I was going to have a career.
I thought you meant like you gave Ryan Leslie that advice. I was like,
Nah.
that's crazy, but you ain't never talked about it.
Hey, Ryan, if you don't mind remixing the story, bruh, go ahead and put me as the sage advisor in your career, in your life. I was probably like 10 years old at the time. Hey, mister, you know that you're not going to win like that. But like, so he did that. He had that realization.
Yeah.
You just talked about the realization we can't just work on these campaigns all day or the agency isn't going to grow. There has to be this other side. Scotty ATL just talked about, hey, I realize I'm in the studio. I'm being creative every day, but that's not going to grow the business.
Yep.
So I think the key factor is realization, right? Because you just said, you could just do cucumbers and onions. You could do cucumbers and tomatoes or just cucumbers. You can focus at periods of times and do it in an order that works best for you.
Mm-hmm.
But you are going to need all of these things, number one.
Yep.
But to do that, number two, you actually have to realize that this has to be done. The problem is if I'm just working on growing these tomatoes and I don't realize I need onions. Right? I'm just being creative. I don't realize this business. It needs to get done. But if I'm like, I'm being creative, I'm growing in 6 months, I'm going to get to the business side. That's when we have a strategy.
Yeah.
Like without awareness, you don't have a strategy. You just lost.
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know. And that's okay. But I think the first thing that we need to do is define what we're in this for. Define our why. Why are we making music? Where are we trying to go with this career? After that, we seek help. If we don't, we don't know what we don't know. So let's seek help. Come to a class. Double M Studios is the most unselfish studio around. We have the classes for you. We have people that you can literally just come in and talk to about what you need help with. Don't walk around here just not knowing something. If you need help, ask. If I learned anything in school, is closed mouths don't get fed. Ask the questions. Sound stupid. Don't be afraid to sound stupid. And these are your plants. You're struggling with why your song doesn't sound the way you want it to. We have 3 engineers fully equipped with all the knowledge you need on how to create a hit song. A great song. Can't calculate a hit song, I'm sorry. Different plants. Everybody's garden will need to be watered different, will need different amounts of sunlight. Our task in the beginning is to define what those plants are.